This video will be titled Textbook Relationships. There's this idea and belief that if I do A, B, C, and D, then I'll get X, Y, and Z results. And oftentimes it doesn't work that way. Like people say, well, black guys build, black women respect them, or black guys do this such and such will happen. And a lot of that is true to an extent. But what people don't factor in is that people in general are ungrateful, especially in America. It's people are like this when they live in a society when everything is sort of good. Like they 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 ain't got to worry about what they're going to eat or well if they're going to eat, but what they're going to eat. Um, um, See, Americans in general are living pretty good. Even the person who lives in the projects is living pretty good. He eats every day. Um, they might be their biggest concern might be whether the cable television gets turned off. And you juxtapose that with like people in third world countries who are wondering if they're going to eat, what they're going to eat for the next week, if they're going to eat within the next week, where their next meal going to come from, or forget about cable. That's not even that's something that's uneven, not even a thought in their minds. You know what I'm saying? Or shelter if they're going to have a place to sleep. Or whether they're going to even live. Within that week, because a lot of those countries that have wars and things of that nature. But people under these types of circumstances where things are plentiful, people are generally ungrateful. They become even more ungrateful under these types of circumstances. So like let's take an example. Let's say you're a good guy. You want a wife, a girlfriend, and whatnot, and you want to treat them good and do all those traditional things. That don't guarantee that she's gonna stay faithful, she's gonna honor you and cherish you and things of that nature. Because people always feel that they can do better, and even if they don't feel like they can do better, they always want to do what they consider to be better. Let's say you might treat a woman real good and all that kind of stuff, but you might not generally be the type of man who she's really attracted to sexually. So she might cheat on you with a guy who doesn't have or do any of those things that you do. Or even the guy she cheats with you with might not even view her like all of that. But she might cheat with him because he's sexually attractive to her on a raw level. And this happens the other way around too. Guys have girls who are good girls, the few that do exist out here. And she might be attractive, but dudes and people in general still like variety. You know what I'm saying? You might She might be with you or him, and she's dealt with him, had sex with him in all kind of ways, and sometimes you just want something different. That's what people need to realize about people in general are want variety and don't always want the same things all the time. So the textbook relationships or the advice that people give isn't always fact. And a lot of times I say it's not fact. You can do all of those things and still get shitted on, get the shaft. Happens all the time. Because really, relationships and things of that nature, those are really man made ideas. That, the idea of one man, one woman, this and that provider, this, that, and third. Yeah, people in general use other people for what they want. Men generally want women for sex. A lot of the other things come after that. Women want men for sex too, but they also want men for other things like finance, status, things of that nature. All that other stuff comes behind sexual attraction and stuff. A lot of times when a woman comes to a guy who has things, or she might have a kid or two, that's more financial. That's survival for her. That's more of a conscious decision where her survival is concerned. When you see a chick who just dates a guy who's a loser or whatnot, that's more the type of people who she's attracted to, person she's attracted to on a general basic level. Women generally date guys and have sex with guys like that early in life, but when they fall through the pitfalls that come along with that type of thinking, and they learn their lesson, then they go to the guy with the money and all that kind of stuff, the simps or whatnot. So that's all I wanted to say about that. People got to understand basic human nature and the way people are, especially in accordance to certain circumstances, environmental circumstances. It's just like how immigrants come to this country and they'll get some job that ain't paying much, but they'll work their asses off and not complain, and they'll work and continue to build off of that. Next thing you know, they might own the business, be doing their own thing because the environment that they come from, they didn't have these things or those opportunities. So when they come here, they take advantage of that, and they're grateful for that. Where a lot of Americans who grew up in this, we looking at it like, shit, I can do better than that. You know what I'm saying? And because you've been conditioned to feel like that's beneath you and that you should be up here. This is really one of the main reasons why Americans fail at a lot of things because everything is so plentiful here, and people tend to take for granted a lot of the opportunities and a lot of things that are here because it's normal to you. It's like how certain guys will take a woman and cherish that woman and love that woman and treat her great. It's because those guys generally don't get a lot of women. And the guys who treat women like shit, don't give a fuck about them, move on to the next one, they don't really value women because women are easy to them. People don't value what is easy, they value what's kind of hard. That's human nature. That's what people do.